What's going on, Team Sagittarius? This is Brandon over on Well Intuitive. We're going to be doing a weekend energy reading for you guys for the dates of July 12th through the 14th. What we're going to do is we're going to take it by each kind of Sag out there. We're going to do two cards for the single Sagittarius out there. We're going to do two cards for the Sagittarius in a couple right now. And we're going to do two cards for the complicateds or in-betweens, or maybe you're a side piece or you have one. We're going to do one for each of those statuses, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to be for Sagittarius for the weekend of July 12th through the 14th. Any good advice for Team Sag? Thank you, Spirit Guides. There it goes. Watch it, man. So, for my single Sages out there, we're going to be making our choices very wisely this weekend. That means don't rush into anything. Don't be brash about making an immediate decision if you can give it a little bit of time. As you can see by the picture, she can go this way, she can go that way. Neither side looks, either, more or less appealing than the other, but she can also stay right where she's at too and just wait it out and see which way the wind takes her. So let's make sure we're making our choices not with the obvious, but using that third eye to see past the veil and see what's really going on and see what we're really being exposed to. Okay, so let's make sure we're making wise, fruitful choices this weekend, okay, Sag? Especially if you're a single Sag out there, let's make sure we're not putting ourselves in any precarious situations, all right? Also, for you beautiful Sagittarius out there, we're going to be creative if we can, especially with our communication, with what we're saying to people and how we're saying it. Try not to sound like everybody else this weekend. Let's make sure that we're using our own creative voice, our own beautiful sonic abilities to bring people in or push people away. It can go either way with that. But use your creativity as much as possible, especially in your communication. That's why this card is blue. The sacral is actually the creation area, but your communication is also a creative area as well. And let's use that to the maximum this weekend. You guys should be firing on all pins with the way you communicate this weekend. So let's use that to our advantage and maximize those energies out there swirling for you. So that's for you single Sagittarius out there. For my married or in a couple Sagittarius, Sagittarii, I don't know, Sagittariuses, we're going to be minding our possessions this weekend, okay? If you're married and going through some things, maybe this means taking stock of what you have versus what you don't want. And becoming very aware, if you have to leave that situation tomorrow, what you would and would not want to take with you, okay? And if you're in humble waters right now in your relationship, let's make sure we're not being too possessive. That way we don't disturb the waters. That way we don't disturb the calm that's taken over your life, or you don't disturb the calm that's taken over your life. Let's make sure we're not being too possessive. But let's also make sure we're taking stock of what we do claim to own and making sure that we're treating that possession as it should be. And I mean, anything that you want to keep forever, you should be willing to let go of. You should be willing to let it fly away and fly right back if it wants to. So let's not be too possessive over anything. That way we don't scare anybody off or make them nervous. Okay, that can happen too. But let's also make sure we're being mindful of what we do have. If you are going through it and you are in a couple, that way there's not a fight over this and I should have that and you should have. No, let's make sure we're being mindful of what we do have and what we do want in our lives if you're going to have to move on or stick around, okay? Also, for you married beautifuls out there, we're going to be working on our root chakra, obviously. We're going to make sure that we're staying grounded and planting our roots down. If you're in a couple and you're Sagittarius and you're like a flight risk, you might want to think about your possessions and what you claim to own. That way you're not confusing yourself and leading yourself down a path of complete and utter crap. All right, let's make sure we're steering ourselves away from the fire if we don't need to be there. And we're going to do that by keeping ourselves grounded, by being aware of our environment and our connection to it. All right, and you can do that by simple things, getting out there, maybe exercising for a half hour, 5-10 minutes. You don't have to do anything all that long. Go out and sit in the grass and look up at the sky for a couple of minutes, or just stand out on your porch and look up at the sky for a couple of minutes. Do something that makes you appreciate the world around you at least once this weekend, okay, Team Sag? Let's make sure that we're connecting to the universe around us, or expanding our world into the universe that we want it to be, okay? That's for you marrieds out there. That's also good advice for probably for you singles out there too. Let's make sure that we're staying grounded and not flying off with the fantasies that can fill our minds sometimes, and of what could be. And let's make sure we're taking a good look at what is already, okay? Now, for you complicators out there, what I like to do, since you're kind of you're in two worlds right now, you're this way or you're that way, but you're in between, you're complicated, or you're just you're the side, or you have a side piece. No judgment there. I can't honestly, I can't. It's perfectly okay to live the life that you want to live. But I like to pull a card from the top and also one from the bottom for you guys, since your life is a little bit different than the other two situations that we've laid out here. But for you complicateds out there, what might be good for you to focus on this weekend is your family. I know, if you're complicated, things are driving you crazy. Let's cut out the complication this weekend and focus on what we know does work. And if maybe you have something going on actually with a family member that you need to be really attentive to this weekend, you got to make sure that the nest is taken care of, and that none of the eggs are breaking within or being taken from us. Okay, let's make sure that our family is okay over the course of this weekend. That way we're not neglecting anybody, nobody feels left out in the rain, and let's make sure that we're keeping things, keeping communication well grounded between you and your family members. That way there's no room for confusion, and everybody is on the same page pretty much. All right. And also, for my complicateds out there, we're going to be responsible this weekend. As you can see by the picture, these hands are not only holding the plant, but also the soil beneath it. The plant is still able to grow, and that's because this person is being responsible and not just taking the plant out of the ground and hoping that it lives forever. Let's be responsible this weekend with ourselves. Let's not get caught up in anything that doesn't feel right. Let's not go towards something just because it's the weekend and we want to have fun, because you know how that goes sometimes. Sometimes you go out and it's supposed to be fun, and it actually turns out to be a complete and utter train wreck or dumpster fire. So let's make sure that we're being responsible this weekend. That way we don't wake up and it's next to any compromising situations. That's really all I have for you for right now, Team Sagittarius. This is just general advice. This isn't like make or break, doom or gloom kind of stuff, so you take it as it goes. You can take what resonates. You don't have to necessarily listen to the singles, the married, or the complicated advice. You can take it all and make one tapestry for your weekend, because it all really does kind of flow into each of these different kind of lives. You can use any of this advice for any of the situations and probably come out on top this weekend, okay, Sagittarius? So let's make sure that we're checking how grounded we are. Let's make sure that we're doing something that's strictly for you and your world, right? You and your nature. Let's make sure we're doing something for that at least once this weekend, okay? And that's going to help ground you out this weekend and make sure that there's nothing that can be shorted out, okay? But that's all I have for you. I hope you have a safe, wonderful weekend. I'll be up soon again with your weekly energy readings. But in the meantime, have fun and be safe out there. Namaste.